This video goes over commas again. So as we can see here, this is similar to another video we have on the site, and it's just showing you the detail that's added in each sentence. So this part is the added detail. Okay, it's telling us what type of car is racing down the track. So if you imagine that there was no green part of this sentence and we just had the car race down the track, that would be an okay sentence, it would make sense and stuff, but it wouldn't have this detail that we have here. So imagine now with the whole thing, including the green, the car, a rapid sports car, raced down the track. That adds a lot of extra detail to the sentence, and it's what you should always try to do, because it makes your writing better. Okay, so down here we have another example. The horse, after galloping in a green field, was very hungry and thirsty. So again, if we look at just the green, which I'm going to colour in, after galloping in a green field, So this is the extra detail. Okay, that's what the horse has done to make it hungry and thirsty. Imagine it without the green again. So the horse was very hungry and thirsty. That makes sense, but we don't really know why the horse was hungry and thirsty, do we? It's only when we add in this bit that we know why the horse is hungry and thirsty. It's because it was galloping, which means it was running very quickly. And that is also an advanced verb, okay? It's not just a simple verb, is it? It's not a verb like run or was running. It's galloping because it's similar to sprinting for humans, but it's for horses. So a verb is used here to give us an idea of the detail of what the horse was doing before it became hungry and thirsty. Okay, so now we have part 2. Okay, now part 2 is down at the bottom of this page. Part 2. Okay, now part 2 is about commas, but it's about how we use them to make a sentence more easy to read, and the way we do that is by adding small pauses to the sentence. Okay, so small pauses give us a chance to breathe if we're reading out loud. They give us a chance to feel what the reader wants us to understand. And this example here shows you a few ideas of where you can put a comma. Okay, so if we read it out, the student was tired after the day at school, a long, hard day of work. So imagine if we read that out without the commas. Okay, so imagine the commas aren't there. It would be, the student was tired after the day at school, a long, hard day of work. There would be no pause here and no pause there. So we need that pause for it to make sense. Okay, so here we don't have a little bit of detail added in, we just have a little bit of a pause added in where the commas are. But if you can see here, this a long hard day of work is actually kind of added detail. It's not in the middle of a sentence, it's at the end of the sentence in a sense now, because it's separated from this purple bit by this comma here. Now, imagine we just said, the student was tired after the day at school. That would make sense, and then we would have a full stop here instead of the comma. Okay, so there you can see there's the option of having a full stop there or a comma there. We've put the comma because it adds detail, okay? And that detail comes here. So you've probably seen also that commas can be used in speech as well. And that's just to separate what the character's saying from what the storyteller's telling you. Okay, so hello, comma, and then the speech mark, said Dan. So the comma there is very important, and you can never write speech marks without having some sort of punctuation at the end between the word and what the writer says. So this is what the writer is telling us, and this is what the character is telling us. And in between them we have that all-important comma. And you may have noticed that the comma comes before these things. Okay, it comes before the speech mark. Okay, So those are two really important things that you can use commas for. However, as well as that, we can use commas for lists. So I want apples, oranges, and grapes. We've used the comma there because it's to separate the first and second items in our list. So here is the first and second. But remember, no comma for the last one. Between the last one and the second to last one, we use and all the time. And that's just so we know when the sentence is ending, and so the sentence sounds a lot more professional. Okay, so what else can we have? We can have a list that's more complicated. We could have a list that has not only got objects in it or items in it, like apples, oranges, and grapes, but it could have a little bit of detail added in using commas too. So I want apples, red and crunchy, oranges as bright as the sun, and onwards, and that would give us even more detail.